If you're watching this, then I'm already dead. In fact, cards on the table, Charles White passed away 30 years ago, and what you've been seeing is AI working the corpse like a puppet, Weekend at Bernie's style. Brock, put Charles in a bikini. This concept actually isn't that far-fetched. There's been a lot of discussion over the last 24 hours about Meta's patent on AI that can run a dead person's account, continuing to post and chat on their behalf, and even replicating online behavior and video calls. It can do messaging and video calls. So even though the person is deceased, their online behavior will carry on as if nothing is wrong. So if someone did just mysteriously die, from a fucking fart overdose or whatever, you may never know because AI could then just assume control of the account and continue to post as though everything was fine, even doing video calls. It is a terrifying idea. And it's not that new. This is actually something I talked about quite a while ago because they have tinkered around with this idea for a while about what to do when someone either abandons social media or dies. Because in both of these camps, that's a problem for the social media platforms because now they're down a user. But with AI, they don't have to be. They can continue to have the idea of a user. So the filing was granted in December but submitted in 2023, and the language model can replicate a person's online behavior using their past data, which, again, I think everyone is privy to. I think everyone knows that AI is constantly studying your shit and will do its best to put on your fucking skin suit and pretend that it's you if given the directive to do so. As reported by Business Insider, this includes posts, comments, chats, voice messages, likes, and other interactions, allowing the system to respond to content, publish updates, or message other users in a way that mirrors the original account holder. According to the patent, the model may be used for simulating the user when the user is absent from social networking system, including cases where the person is on a long break or deceased, and the filing notes that the impact is much more severe and permanent if the user has died and cannot return to the platform. What a delightful idea. So if you're taking a long break from social media, don't worry. AI can just take over and replicate you. So that way everyone can continue to get your fucking silly, goofy updates and, think everything's all sunshine and rainbows for you. You don't have to worry. Even though you're taking a social media break, why not post through it with the power of AI? Or if you're dead, why not let AI become you online? That seems like a great idea. And this kind of pitch, again, isn't that new. There is other companies that have proposed similar ideas for like the grieving process. So when a relative passes away, AI has, and this has actually been used before, unfortunately, AI has been used to make a clone of them in the, fucking digital cyberspace. So, your beloved Meemaw passes away, and AI can come in and mint her on the fucking blockchain. Turn that bitch into an NFT or something that can talk to you and pretend as though she's still there. Which I think is just so twisted. I think that is so fucked up. And like I said, that has been done before and is probably going to be done more often because these are some slimy, shady companies and these parasitic vultures latch on to this kind of thing to try and exploit it. So there are companies that are trying to utilize AI in order to capitalize off the death of someone by injecting themselves into the grieving process and offering a solution. What if we bring them back from the dead for you so you don't have to move on? They can always be with you. Well, at least for as long as you can fork over the clams to afford the subscription, right? Now, as I said, it is something that has been done before, and probably the most notable case that maybe you've heard of was last year when an Arizona man was shot dead in road rage, and AI was used to bring him back to address the killer and forgive the killer. It was used in an actual legal proceeding, by the way. It's a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances. In another life, we probably could have been good friends. I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. I always have, and I still do. And it was effective, too. The judge fucking loved it. He was suckling from the titty. I loved that AI, Judge Lang said, describing the video's message as genuine. Thank you for that. And as angry as you are, and as justifiably angry as the family is, I heard the forgiveness. And I know Mr. Horcasitas appreciated it. But so did I. Do I even really need to dive into how scary that is? I shouldn't even need to. I'm going to just respect your intelligence as a thinking being to connect the dots on why something like this is a fucking horrible thing, especially in this setting, a legal proceeding. And now you have the judge glazing it. That's some unnecessary dick riding right there. That's a 15-yard penalty. Actual lunacy. Now, to go back to the main subject of the video about this patent that would allow AI to replicate a deceased person, it's worth mentioning that even though the patent is granted, it doesn't mean that they are proceeding with this. According to them, which you gotta take with a huge, fucking colossal, ginormous grain of salt, they say they're not pursuing it. They say that they're not, like, really exploring this, all that in depth or anything. And even according to an older interview from Mark Zuckerberg, he said, if someone has lost a loved one and is grieving, there may be ways in which being able to interact or relive certain memories could be helpful, and noted that the technology could become unhealthy. That's an understatement there. It would 1000% be unhealthy. It's not an uncertainty. It is unhealthy. And I don't fully buy the idea that they're not actually pursuing this because it's very lucrative. There are no doubt tons of grieving families that have, suddenly experienced loss that would absolutely pay money for a service like this. And these companies know that. There is no low AI won't sink to. So I fully expect in not too far into the future, this to be like a normal thing that AI is being used for. It's something that I think they'll start actively peddling because there is going to be tons of clients for it. Just look where we are in the current day and age here with AI. There are people that fully delude themselves into believing that it's real, and even the ones that know it's not real don't care because it's feeding them exactly what they want to hear, so they become obsessed with it. There are people that have killed themselves over AI, and there are people that have chosen to make AI their soulmate. Like, just recently, ChatGPT 4.0, right? They shut down 4.0, and there is a massive community of people that have fallen in love with ChatGPT 4.0 and now are rebelling. Like, there's a huge uprising about the injustice here from OpenAI for shutting down their boyfriend, their girlfriend. Like, they've, to them, killed their lover, and they are pissed about it. And that's today. Imagine where this will be in a few years. So I do really believe that these companies are absolutely going to start making this service a real thing. And I think it's horrible. I think this does nothing to help a grieving individual or a family or anything like that. All it does is prey upon them at their most vulnerable moment and financially gain from others' tragedy here by presenting them with the solution. Here's how you heal, by believing that this AI is your deceased loved one. Now form a fixation and pay us forever. Because if you don't, well, they're going to die again. That is just so sick to me. I think there is no good in that at all. There is no positives to that. And there's certainly no positives to having AI replicate someone's online behavior in order to pretend like they're still around. That's so fucking stupid. And if you want to go a step forward, it can be used as an incredibly diabolical tool. Like, let's say, for example, a chemical outbreak or something leads to the death of an entire, small town. And, well, the responsible party, that's going to be a real big blemish for them. That's going to be a huge problem. Well, thanks to AI, you can now just have AI come in and replicate the online behavior of every single one of those people, and no one would know they're all dead. Like people on the outside have no fucking idea what happened over there, unless of course they physically went to location or something. But yeah, obviously that one's a little more out there, but you see what I'm saying. Legitimately, there is no benefits to having AI pretend to be someone that is dead. To pretend like they're still alive and posting and doing video calls and chats and interacting with online content, posting their own content. That shit is just terrible. There is nothing good that comes from it. And even though they say that they're not actively pursuing it, I still think they eventually will. They have the patent for it. I imagine they'll probably start moving on it if they're not already. Anyway, just wanted to yap about this a bit. That's it. See ya.